Lindsay Schultz.
Yes.
Lindsay, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You own the Spine Bookstore.
Yes, the Spine Bookshop.
That's an appropriate name because we've got some politicians that could use a little spine in this country nowadays.
I'm not going to disagree.
Okay. We're going to talk about why both these ladies are here tonight, okay? And it seems that the school board has decided to tell our master's degree librarians which books are appropriate and which ones are not. And they're going to, and I watched Lindsay, this may have been Thursday. I can't keep
Thursday.
up. Was it Thursday?
Yes,
They're going
sir.
to 150 books they're going to take a look at. And we're going to talk about how they're going to look at them, because folks, you're going to love this. So grab hold of your seat and sit down, buckle up, get you a warm cup of coffee, or some of you that are in on this, you may need to get something a little stronger, bless your heart, and or some of you may just want to take a sedative. And we're going to get started here. He's on the board and going to kick us off. Connor, if you would. But for right now, my name is Edwin Lee Raymer, and yes, for right now, I'm still a private investigator. Welcome aboard.
This is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show with your host, Ed Raymer, on your Good Neighbor station, News Radio, WGNS.
Yeah. And this is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show. I'm your host, Ed Raymer. This show is produced at the studios of WGNS AM 1450, 100.5, and 101.9 FM right here in the heart of the great volunteer state, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Now, you can reach us tonight. You can reach Zoe and Lindsay with your questions at 615-893-1450. That's 615-893-1450. And you can also, if you would like, you can send me a text over my own phone at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Now, how can you watch us? How can you hear us? I tell you every week, and I'll keep telling you, my wife listens on Alexa normally. She doesn't need to see me. She sees more than enough of me at the house all week long. So, and occasionally she'll watch, but you can watch us right now live on YouTube Live. Connor, News Radio WGNS, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
All right, News Radio WGNS, or you can type in the Ed Raymer Show on YouTube. You can watch us on Facebook Live. There's a number of ways, and of course there is the old-fashioned radio. Now, for some of you younger people, the radio is a rectangular-shaped device generally in the dash of your car, and it's a wonderful thing. A lot of us old people used to listen to it. They had rock and country and music on there, sometimes some news, and it was really great. So you might want to check it out. I had one lady that told me I don't know, I haven't listened to the radio in so long. I said, well, you've been, if you haven't listened to me, you've just been missing half your life, folks. I'm telling you. Now, if you want to listen every once in a while, there's a lot of our fine shows we've got here. Jason Qualls with Financial Coaching. Angela Bingham, who just left here, she's on every Sunday at 6 p.m. with Simplicity. A wonderful lady. Always prays for my guest. She's an equal opportunity Christian. She prays for everybody. She's never prayed for me, but she prays for me. Okay. Now, Lindsay, you own the Spine Bookstore. There's a lot of hoopla going on right now with books in Rutherford County.
Yes, sir.
What's going on? Why are you here?
Well,
I mean, first of all, I ask you to be here, but I mean, what's
Sure.
the thrust of what's going on with you?
Well, so I started my bookshop, and then the RCLA asked me to speak out because the school board had pulled, I think, 20 some odd books, and then they were getting ready to pull another 10. And as a business owner, who ran a bookshop, they wanted to know if I was interested in speaking
Right.
out. And yeah, absolutely,
Sure.
because I don't believe in banning books at all.
Sure.
And so I went.
Now, we are not talking about dirty magazines and
No,
pornography. That's not what
no.
we're talking about. Let's be clear. I like to clear that up before we, even, let the horse out of the gate.
No. We're talking about books like To Kill a Mockingbird and Looking for Alaska by John Green and stuff. A lot of this stuff, Fahrenheit 451, 1984, Slaughterhouse-Five, the books that people our age, where it was required reading in high school.
Sure, yeah.
And so I decided, I want to speak out about that as a business owner and as someone who is I'm a ferocious reader. I've been reading my entire life. And so I contacted my friend Zoe over here, who's an author in my shop. I asked her if she wanted to come along, and I wanted her to read what I was going to say.
Now, when was this?
September?
Would have been late September.
Yeah, late
the
September.
First meeting.
September, the first meeting.
I think so, yeah.
We made the mistake of assuming it would be a very civil discussion.
It was not.
Sure, yeah. And you can watch all these meetings. They're on YouTube,
Yes.
by the way, the Rutherford County School Board. Folks, I urge many of you, I urge all of you to take a look at them. And, we're going to talk about it as we go. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off.
I had Zoe read what I was going to write or say because I didn't want to say anything out of pocket. I wanted to make sure that what I was going to say was articulate and well thought out and not reactive and just like, this is my opinion, respectfully.
Sure.
And, she read what I said and said, I think, maybe change this word or two. And so we went. And we were sitting with Carrie and Tiffany and Angela and Jessica, all the people from RCLA. And so I got up and I spoke. I was really nervous because it's the first time I've ever done anything like that. And it was really interesting because, and this is all just my opinion, of course.
All right, go right ahead.
My impression, I felt that the RCLA, we were all very calm and well-spoken and articulate and respectful, and the people that were wearing the white shirts tended to shout out and kind of be a little disruptive, and I thought a lot of what they said was a little disrespectful to everybody else that was listening. And I thought it Zoe and I were talking, there was this one girl who was 14 who got up and talked about
how a particular book, I think it was Tower of Dawn, really made her feel represented as a girl with autism for the first time. That was where she felt, this is who I am, and I feel seen by this.
Right.
And
we immediately...
I can't imagine how hard that must have been for a 14-year-old to do that.
Right.
And then to have people get up and make disparaging comments about what she had said and basically just disregard how she felt.
Exactly.
And, it was really rude. And I thought
I've seen the meeting. Yeah, they get an A in rudeness.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I know that the girl was sitting next to us, and I know that she took it to heart.
Mm-hmm.
It would be very disparaging if you ever wanted to speak your mind in the future.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so...
Which is what they're counting on.
Right. And then the next day, I have a friend who I have been keeping... because I don't want to out them, but they called me and they said, did you speak at the school board meeting last night? And I said, yeah, why? And she said, well, you should know that your name was brought up. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, in the context of a conversation, the statement, we need to do something about that little bookshop, was made.
Right.
And just thought I should know. And I remember thinking, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, you have to be kidding, right? Like, seriously?
It is, that's kind of what I thought. I think it's ridiculous we have to even be sitting here talking about this tonight.
Well, and so I told Carrie and Tiffany, and I said, y'all are not going to believe this. And when I told Tiffany, she said, you're kidding. And I said, no.
Now, when you talk about Carrie and Tiffany, they've both been on before. Tiffany Fee, Carrie Lambert.
Yes.
And they've been they're good friends of ours.
They've been guiding me through this whole process of volunteering for RCLA and stuff. And, they put it out on their social media that, a certain person or a certain organization was trying to come after my bookshop because I spoke out on what I thought was right. And I don't think that I said anything offensive. I even went back and reread what I said, and I went back and rewatched the footage.
I've watched,
And I mean, I even read it to my husband, and my husband is the first person that's going to tell me, maybe say this differently.
Well, I think that Connor might, he's known me well enough by now. He's been here a while. It's pretty hard to offend me anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Oh, you offend me. Oh, just offended me.
I get offended all the time. So,
it's ridiculous.
It
utterly
really
ridiculous.
is.
Now, the one meeting I saw, and you have been to I have not been on purpose. I have not gone to these meetings because I know how I am. Okay?
Right.
And, but I saw one fella, the people in white shirts, okay? I guess that's a sign of their purity, whatever. Just basically preaching a sermon. You're given 3 minutes, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, 3 minutes.
Zoe, what's going on? How are you wrapped up in this, if I might ask? I mean,
well, I'm a local author in Lindsay's shop, and I'm a queer author, which isn't an incredibly welcome thing in the Bible Belt. So I have a vested interest in continued book banning because I specifically write the kind of material that ends up on lists where these people don't want fiction out there to pollute teenagers, let's say. But I grew up not having a lot of access to stories that featured girls like me. So I specifically...
Same here. I'm out of the 60s and 70s,
So I set out to write those stories that I had difficulty finding when I was in school.
Right.
So this is an important topic to me because, even though I'm not in school anymore, there are a lot of kids like me that are in school right now that are losing access to stories that are going to make them feel represented and help them understand themselves better.
Sure.
And that's a tragedy.
Yes, it is.
Well, in your book, too, it's not just a LGBTQ book. Like when the book that we were talking about that we read for the LGBTQ book club was Bring Back My Bonnie. And it's a Christmas story about a woman who has died. And it's a beautiful, beautiful work of fiction about grief. I told her it reminds me of Looking for Alaska by John Green, which is also about grief and how everybody deals with grief differently. And it's beautifully written, and it shows the ugliness and the heartbreak and how hard it can be. And I think that I love her book.
I just try to write human stories, and being part of the LGBTQ community doesn't make you inhuman. You experience the full gamut of emotions just like everyone else. So to write a story with queer characters is just writing a story about the human experience and how you feel. It's no different from anyone else, really.
And she sells out. That book sells out all the time.
Okay. Right. Now, Rutherford County Library Alliance, is that correct? RCLA.
Yes.
To get the people straight on what this is. And that is basically Tiffany Fee and Carrie Lambert.
It's Tiffany Fee, Carrie Lambert, and there's a couple other people.
Sure. And they're monitoring this situation, so to speak.
They are trying to advocate for the librarians, and they're trying to advocate for the books not being banned. They're trying to advocate and speak for people who can't speak for themselves. And they're against book banning. And the thing is, for them, it's a passion project, but they're just trying to follow the law.
Right.
They are this is the law. This is what we're trying to hold you to.
And the school board is wanting to bend or break the law into their own situation or however they think it should be.
I can't speak for what they're trying to do. I know that they object to the books for whatever reason, and so they are wanting to remove them.
Right.
And it is my understanding that legally they're not allowed to do that. That there's a system set up for objecting to a book, and they're not following that system.
I didn't think they could arbitrarily just go in and, I don't like this book,
That's the way that it's been explained to me is there's a form, and you have to fill it out, and you have to have read the book from cover to cover, not cherry pick it like some of the things. And it is my impression that is not what's happening, that they are just summarily going in and yanking them out. Like the 150 books that were pulled, they just took books out of kids' hands. That's confirmed. They shut down the libraries.
Who took the books out of their hands?
It's my understanding that the librarians had to shut down their library so that they could pull the 150 books. And some of the books came directly out of kids' hands.
Okay. We have a caller on the line right now. Hello, caller, go ahead.
Mr. Raymer, how you doing?
Hey, Jeff, how are you? I'm sorry I missed your call earlier today.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I was going to tell you the first, I know y'all talking about banning books, I'm going to get to that, but the first thing of the Trump economy, Dillard's is going to close the end of January. Don't trip them all.
Dillard's?
Yeah, it's closing.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw they're going to close that up.
At the end of January, they said it's permanent. They sent a letter to the mayor about it, so they're going to close. They're going to close up. So they said the workers are going to go to other stores like Nashville area, stuff like that.
Right.
They say so.
I hate to hear that because they're a fine store.
Yeah, that's the first thing of the Trump economy now. The retail's going to go down like a retail sales are going to plummet. We don't know what's going on. We ain't got no suits to sell. We going to just go down.
Well, Jeff Bezos is just making money hand over fist at Amazon, so.
It's the Department of Government efficiency. We won't know what's going on.
I'm telling you.
We got to have efficient government. Now we can't lose money or anything. Lord, we wouldn't want to do that. My goodness. But no, I just want to say, y'all was talking about the banning books. They had a couple stories this week on the Nashville News, and when they showed it, that room was packed. I mean, it looked like a football game, standing room only.
Right.
It was packed. Mm-hmm. For those ladies, though, they was there and everything. And one of the books they want to ban is A Clockwork Orange. Did y'all know that? I know those.
Yes.
That's one of them they want to ban, A Clockwork Orange. They made that movie of it.
Right.
Well, that's what I was saying, that they're the books that we grew up reading as a required reading list. They're now wanting to ban them.
I wrote a paper on Clockwork Orange in high school, so.
Me too.
They made the movie out of it too, the classic movie out of it too. But no, what they said is, I'm glad you know this too, is they've got till the first of the year when they're going to decide if they're going to ban them or not. So I guess they'll be reading that. When they have their turkey dinner, Thanksgiving, they'll be reading those books and eating their turkey Thanksgiving dinner. They'll be reading them.
Have these people heard of the internet?
It takes them that long.
Yeah. Well, that's funny you say that because somebody brought up that you're trying to ban these books, but all of the kids that you're trying to ban these books from have cell phones, and they can get more information from those cell phones than they can the books that they're reading.
Yeah, and like you say, you can read them online anyway.
Right.
You get you online. I can get them online or e-books or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, because I mean,
and you can find actual pornography and smut online, as opposed to Pulitzer Prizes.
I've heard that. Yeah.
So they say.
There
they say that.
There are so many worse things online than what you
Connor,
would
would you
find
get
in
me
the
a couple of Tylenol, please? And
they talked to one of the board members, and he said we should defer to the librarians, that they know what's going on. They know what books is good and what ain't. And he said we should defer to them. And
I think that was Butch.
I don't know which board member it was, but he said that during the story they interviewed him.
I believe that was Butch Vaughn.
Yeah, he's the one who said, "Why can't we trust the librarians to do the job that we've given them?"
Sure.
That's what their job is to know what books is what.
And he's right.
We should defer to them instead of looking at these books and banning them. And all that other stuff. But,
Jeff, let me ask you something, please, from a past show that we did. Did you not tell me Wilson County, did they not attempt, or did they ban 426?
But the reason why they done it is comply with state law. 425 books valued at 425 books they took out.
That's a bunch of books, man.
Because they was complying with state law.
That's half my bookshop.
Like
I sat around and thought about that when I heard that they pulled it.
Right.
That's half my bookshop.
Well, if we can't have no more school libraries, you got to go to the Williamson County libraries to get you a book.
Well, the thing is, I feel like they're going after the school libraries, right?
Okay.
The next thing on the list is going to be public libraries.
Sure.
And then when they're done doing that, they're going to come after bookstores and record stores and.
The next thing you're going to come after college libraries. They'll say, "Come from the MTSU, man. We just forget that library. We take that down. You ain't got all these books. You don't get all these books in there."
I've got a good statistic for you, Jeff. I don't know if you know this or not. We've talked about this before. I brought this up once before, months ago. Do you know at one time? Now I don't know if it's still true, but I bet it is. the holder of the largest volumes of pornography in the world is? Do you know who that is?
I don't know.
The Vatican.
I've heard that.
No, I've heard that. I heard that once.
Is it because they've confiscated the most, or?
Well, they haven't confiscated. They just
they just enjoy it.
Zoe, they just study it.
Yeah, sure.
One final thing I know is sports reference. I don't know if you watched the Kentucky Duke basketball game this week. Did you watch that?
No, believe it or not, I didn't.
They would have all these Pope hats, but they had these shirts on. These tees that was blue shirts with white lettering. Here's what it said. Now it said, "Jesus is my Savior, but Pope is my coach." I done told you. My coach. Now they had Pope hats and everything. Of course, they beat Duke unbeaten. I just wanted to let you know that's the.
Okay, that's a sport. You know, I keep up with my Wildcats. Okay,
Jeff. I just want to say that too. But and now another one final thing. They said today or on this morning's news that I know this is not a related topic, but they said since Donald Trump has been elected, birth control sales have went through the roof. It went way up.
I don't doubt that.
Way up, and they said measles, one of the diseases, is a 20% more all over the globe because people aren't taking vaccination. That's just this little thing. But I'll hang up. I enjoy your show and have a good week. Thank you.
Jeff, thank you so much. And I'll tell you what, we're going to go to our first series of breaks, Connor, if we could on that. Thanks to Jeff Neal. Jeff, thank you for your continued support. And we're going to hear from our sponsors right now. And Lindsay Schultz and Joey Bakurin.
Zoe Bakurin, yes.
Zoe Bakurin. I'll get it right before the show's over.
It's Croatian. It's an odd one.
They're my guests tonight, and we're talking about books and banning books and burning books and everything else. But stay with us. We'll be back with you for the balance of the hour. This is Ed Raymer for the Edwin Lee Raymer Show. Back right after this. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullis Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard, right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard, right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also, custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also, gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard, right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. All right, and we are back. And to our sponsors, thank you very much. We got a Thanksgiving holiday coming up, and I hope everybody's getting ready for that. And we're here with Lindsay Schultz and Zoe Bakurin, and glad to have both you ladies with us. Lindsay is the owner of the Spine Bookstore.
Spine Bookshop.
Bookshop in Smyrna, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Where are you located at down there? You're on South Lowry?
We're on South Lowry. We're at 304 South Lowry Street, Suite A3. So like City Hall is on Lowry Street. Right across the street is a 2-story white building. And so we're upstairs.
You're in Dave Bolden's old building.
Yes, sir.
That's where Dave used to be.
Yes, that's yeah.
You know,
Is he the bootmaker?
I don't know, because I mean, there was, I think my particular suite at one point.
Dave was a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah,
he was a lawyer.
My particular suite at one point apparently had a shoemaker or a shoe repairman in it.
Can't remember, but I know Dave was up there for years, and it was ironic because when we moved, Imogene Bolden and Dave at one time were married.
Okay.
And my parents purchased the house where they used to live.
Oh, cool.
And our paths crossed ever since 1980. You know, and then Dave, sadly we lost him. And I think Imogene is still practicing. She may be retired now.
Okay.
I don't know. Down there in Smyrna. And it was really ironic. And Mom always left the old door knocker on the front of our house. It had Bolden on it. She wanted to leave that there.
I love that.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So, you know, just said, you know, I said, you want to take, I said, no, leave it there. She said, I'd like to just leave it, you know.
Sure.
Okay, Lindsay, you know, and folks, I'm going to tell you, other than just a few personal notes I keep here, I have a pen, and Connor was good enough to give me a card here that I could write their names on just so I won't forget. I made no preparation for this show whatsoever. Right. I have no books in front of me, no notes, no notepad, nothing. Lots of times I intentionally will do that because I like you to tell your story. So where do you go from here? What is, both of you, tell us, what do you think?
So when Wilson County decided to pull the 425 books.
I think Jeff said 425, I believe. Right.
God, I was so mad. I remember standing in my bookshop, just looking at my bookshop, mentally okay, 1, 2, 3, like mentally trying to figure out what that.
That's a bunch of books.
Yeah, it would be half my bookshop because my bookshop is small. And I went home and I was watching the movie Invictus with Morgan Freeman, where he played Nelson Mandela. And
right.
It's the movie about how Nelson Mandela got the football team which was a symbol for apartheid, and he wanted to win. I want you to win this game to unite the country. Like, let's take that and flip it on. And it's one of my favorite movies.
It's soccer, but they call it football. They call it football in there.
And I just remember thinking, I love that movie, and I love that poem. It's one of my favorite poems. And I just was like, okay, what could I do as a positive? What could I do to react to the constant book banning in a more positive way? So what I decided to do was I created a project called the Banned Book Brigade. And so what that is I put the list, both the Wilson County banned book list and the Rutherford County banned book list on my website, thespineBookshop.com.
Okay.
And I put the Venmo payment thing on that page as well. And so one of two things can happen. If you want to donate to the Banned Book Brigade, you can either go and find the book list and buy the books and donate them to the shop, or you can donate money and I'll go headhunt for the books and donate them to the shop. And any of the donated banned books, the donated ones, all go in a bin that sits outside of my shop during opening hours, and they are free. I am not taking any money off of those books, because for me, the important thing about the banned books is I want people who no longer have access to them to still be able to find some place that they can access them.
Right.
So I'm giving them away for free. And I mean, I spent some of my own money and went and bought some of them, but that's obviously not sustainable, which is why I started the Banned Book Brigade, is so that if you want to help fight against censorship and you want to help fight against this book banning, donate these books to the shop. Donate money to the shop. I will get the books into the hands of the people that need them, because that's what's important.
Okay. How long have you had your shop there? How long have you been, and what brought you into this?
So I got laid off on my 45th birthday, and admittedly was having a little pity party, and so I was talking to my friend Tammy, who tragically is no longer with us, but I was talking to her, and she said, well, are you going to get off your butt and start your bookstore? You've only been talking about it for 20 some odd years.
Okay.
And it was right in the middle of COVID too. So they were, and I thought, you're absolutely right. And I think she gave me 3 or 4 books, and then I pilfered some from my house, and she's the one who got me to sign up for the farmer's market in Smyrna.
Sure.
And I mean, and here I am 2.5 years later, and I mean, we started it upstairs in my office, and then I rented space in Trellis and Vine, and they were my home for 2 years. And then in June, I finally was profitable enough to rent space in the Bowling Building. And we do author signings and author events and book release parties, and we do a local author book club, because my primary focus was always shining a light on local authors and independently published authors. And so I think we have about 80 something in there now. It's one whole wall of local and independently published authors. And then we also do an LGBTQ book club, and as of January, we are going to start a banned book club to really kind of go into it. There's a poet that has just put his books in my shop, Andy,
I can't remember his last name.
I think is his Andy Kopic, and he is a local poet. And so he and I decided that we want to do a banned book club where we go into why this book was banned, let's read it, and then let's discuss what the reasoning behind why it would be banned. So the 3 different book clubs allow representation. It allows you to read a book that maybe you never would have originally read. Like the LGBT book club, we read T.J. Klune, The House in the Cerulean Sea, which at the time was not something I would have picked up, but it's now one of my favorite books.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that I love about books, is it allows you to experience a culture or a experience or a story that maybe you would never have the ability to actually see, but it allows you to alter your thinking and grow as a person and see things from a different person's perspective. And I love reading.
You know, Zoe, I just wish she was more passionate about what she was doing.
I know.
Yeah, she could just...
I mean, this
it's so
blasé,
disheartening.
yeah, this blasé feeling you've
I've
got.
heard that before.
From a gentleman sitting out here on
She's
our
got
couch.
no love for it.
I know. I
just,
mean,
you
yeah, she's so blah. I thought this was going to be exciting,
I
but
was hoping for a little more vivacity.
I know. I'm sorry. I let you down.
What you okay, no, there's no sense using foul language up here, okay? Now, okay, these educated people, you can't be around these
It's
people.
the books.
Yeah, it's the books. That's what's doing it.
Shame on us.
We better get rid of them.
Cut her mic off, Con. No, you know, one fella that comes to mind that I wish could be here to see this, and you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about, would have been Larry Flint.
Oh, yeah.
Because he always said, and he took Jerry Falwell, they all wound up in Supreme Court.
Yep. I remember.
And Flint won.
Yep. I
Okay.
remember reading about that.
I saw the adaptation where Woody Harrelson was Flint.
Woody Harrelson
yeah,
played him.
yeah.
And they won. Alan Isaacson was his attorney, represented him. And he said, because, listen, if they will leave me alone, I'm the worst that there is. He never made any bones about that.
Right, no, I mean, he was honest about
He was
it.
honest. I have published some of the filthiest stuff. It's as nasty as it gets. Okay? And if they'll leave me alone, you don't have a thing to worry about.
Well, and that's what I understand.
And I,
There's something honorable about that.
I respected that. And I said, he's exactly right.
If you don't
And-
want to read the book, then don't read it. There's nobody shoving the book in your face. Librarians are not taking, Fahrenheit 451 and Slaughterhouse 5 in 1984. They're not going to put them in an elementary school.
Right.
You literally have to take a master's degree level class
Sure.
on how to cultivate a curriculum in a library. So the books that they're putting in the libraries, librarians, they are tailoring them for the very specific age group that those libraries cover. So, and they're not putting books in there that are going to cause your kid to be gay or cause your kid to be a criminal.
Be a criminal or whatever.
That's not what that is.
Go
It
out
was
and rape.
Princess Leia in a golden bikini that made me gay. Books had nothing to do with it.
I mean,
I didn't read that one. I'll have to look that one up.
Sorry, Star Wars Princess Leia's.
but I mean,
Connor's really taking all this in because you're not going to believe this. Connor has a dream. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. No. He wants to open a bookstore.
do it.
Oh,
Do it. It's hard.
And I might say I have some selections that could get you started off.
I got about 650 some odd books that you should put in your bookstore.
Rutherford County has helpfully supplied you
So
a
has
list of the
Wilson
books
County.
you need.
Yeah. I mean, but, Larry Flint, the situation with him, I don't know if you heard our broadcast with Nadine Strassen that was on.
I don't think I had a chance
She
to
was
listen
with
to that
the 16 years president of the ACLU, National. Frank and Carrie
Sure,
Lambert
yeah,
set
yeah.
that up for me because Frank had her over at MTSU the next day.
Yep.
She was going to be speaking. And when she retired, at her retirement dinner, she had 3 justices of the Supreme Court to speak: Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Justice Souter, and of all people, Antonin Scalia. And you can go back and listen to her. Wonderful guest, wonderful lady. And, from what I gathered, Justice Scalia and Justice Ginsburg, they would get together once a month and go to the opera. Justice Scalia would.
Opera's lovely.
Yeah, he would.
beautiful.
They loved it. They loved it. Both. That was their common ground.
Sure.
But she said, Justice Scalia was not today's right winger. You read your book and I'll read mine, and Zoe, Lindsay, if you don't like it, just put it back on the shelf. We don't have to ban it or burn it.
My best friend Jess and I have done that. We decided one year that she gave me a book that was one of her favorites. And Jessica and I have been friends since we were 10 years old.
Sure.
Nobody knows me better except for maybe my husband.
Okay.
And so she picked out one of her favorite books, and I picked out one of my favorite authors, and we swapped. And both of us, within about a week, were like, I love you, but I can't read this. This is just not my jam, and I'm bored, and I don't like this story. Okay, cool, no problem. Thanks for at least trying. And that was that. And then we went on to something else. And the thing about it is that has hit me the most is, so when I first decided to do the banned book brigade, I went to McKay's with my list because I had a bunch of credit. This is the word I'm looking for. And I was standing there with the list and my basket of books, and I got really overwhelmed at the, just the enormity of the task that I had set for myself.
Sure.
That here I am looking at a list of 600 books, and I have 5 books in my cart, and I can't buy them all, and I'm doing this by myself, and it was just, how am I going to do this? How do I do this? How do I fight back a big corporation when it's just me?
Right.
And I almost started crying because it was just so, I shouldn't have to be doing this.
Right.
We're supposed to be in America where you're supposed to have the freedom to learn and educate yourself and read what you want to read and be interested in what you want to be interested in, and to have someone say, no, I don't like it, so therefore you can't like it.
Yeah, and then not force it on someone else.
Right.
If
you don't like the book, that's perfectly fine. Don't read it. There's a ton of books I don't like.
Yeah, if you don't like the sport of basketball, don't buy a ticket, don't go to the game.
I mean,
that's fine.
Yeah.
But why do you have to shout and call people names and try to restrict their freedom because you don't like it? It's not right.
We're going to go to our last series of breaks. Lindsay Schultz and Zoe Baccarin have been with me tonight. They're going to be here for the next 12, 14 minutes. And we're going to go to our last series of breaks. Connor, if you'll take us to that, I'd appreciate it. Ed Raymer with you. We'll talk to you on the other side of these breaks. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullis Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard, right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Go to J. Mullis Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard, right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also, custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also, gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullis Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard, right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And we are back. Thank you. Connor, thank you for your job done on board. Thank you very much. Do a good job all the time. Thank you. And ladies, thank you both for doing this. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having
so
us.
much. And, I lost my train of thought. I was trying to answer some of you folks on Facebook and what have you. Thank you for listening. Thank all of our sponsors. I heard, as I went back, and folks, you can check us out. You can check on YouTube. Like we've told you, all the Rutherford County school board meetings are recorded there. They're there for a record. You can go back and check us out if you don't believe what we're saying or whatever.
I mean, it's all on
Yeah,
video.
it's right there. But, you know, the tone I saw some of these young people taking to school board members. You and I were talking about this. Let me tell you something. If I'd have gone up as a kid and done that 14, 15 years
My
old.
mother would have.
Oh, no. My butt wouldn't have held shucks, man. I mean, it would have been, I would have probably been marched right back in there and said, apologize. You will apologize
Well,
to these
I came
people
home
right now.
and I looked at my husband and I said, let me ask you a question. If a 17-year-old came up to you and said, you're a coward, you're a beta boy, and you're not a real man, and
Right.
then called you by your first name, and the look on my husband's face, it was not good.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Yeah. You know, I mean, this is appropriate behavior now for young people?
I don't care how old you are. You are entitled to
True,
your opinion.
yeah, it doesn't make any difference what your age is, but still for a bunch of kids.
The
you know.
way that you talk to people matters.
It does.
And I feel like if you are in a setting like that and you are a certain, if you're a child, and I'm sorry, 18 or younger,
18 or under, you know.
yes,
right.
ma'am, no, ma'am, thank you, please,
That's
Mr. and Mrs. And I mean, even I said Thursday night, respectfully, I disagree. Respectfully, blah, blah, blah. And I tried very hard to be respectful, and I never would have called. I don't even think I know most of their first names because it's just Mr. and Mrs. Or Sir, Madam.
You know, I just can't. I can't imagine. I just it again, and so you know, the word baffles. You know, it just
Baffling.
I say, where are
Well,
these
it
kids'
negates their
parents?
argument. Okay, so you have an opinion, but it's like serving your opinion, taking a great steak. and throwing it up on a trash can lid.
Yeah.
You may have a great opinion, but the way that you deliver
the way
it
you present
is
it,
rude
right.
and completely disrespectful.
Yep.
And it's astonishing that you get the sense that their parents put them up to it too.
Yeah.
Like they're there with a group.
That's their thing. That's
Well, and when we left on the first night, we had to shoulder our way out of the auditorium room into the lobby because they wouldn't let us through the door. And then when the guy that you were talking about that was proselytizing, that's the right word, I think, and you know, and yelling and screaming and calling us pornographers and stuff. When we walked out into the lobby, Zoe and I immediately looked at each other, and I like, he just stared at us.
Yeah.
And I said, let's just walk to my car, and then I'll drive you to your car, because he was also talking to the sheriff. The sheriff deputies that were standing in the you know, to try and keep the peace, which immediately negated any safety.
Oh yeah,
that
they
I
were very
felt.
chummy in a way that's like, oh well,
you're
he's
not
kind of
going
the
to help us.
Scary individual here.
Exactly. So I feel like the whole thing about, if you're not with us, you're against us, and you will not be protected, and you don't matter.
Yeah.
And it was really intimidating and really scary. And so I came home and told my husband, and he bought me pepper spray and a taser, because he was like, I know you're not going to back down from this fight, but I want you to be safe.
Sure.
But, I mean, and he went Thursday night to make sure that I wasn't harassed.
Sure. Yeah.
And I shouldn't have to do that.
It's well, that's the sign of a bully. You know,
for a
that's all
group
it
that
is.
preaches morality, it's
It's
bizarre.
kind of it's a little off the charts, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Just
the
a
way
little
they
off the
yell
charts.
at people, and they're disruptive, and saying that we're evil and that they're going to cast us out and banish it. Like, excuse me?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I thought God was all about loving everybody.
Well, that's what we keep going back to. And folks, I don't know if any of you out there, if you've ever, I have read the Bible through
Same.
one time.
Yeah.
One time I know, and about, I think I made it halfway through the other time, just to say I had done it, I guess.
Sure.
And I don't go around quoting scriptures, because I don't know that many, except the more, the more famous ones, so to speak.
Well,
but,
I don't think it's a competition about how Christian you are
but
either.
What I'm saying, there's some pretty sordid stories in that book.
Yeah. Well, and Angela brought that up last week. She had said, this story has assault. This story has murder. This story has this. This story has this. This story has this. And she said, why do you have a problem with the stories in these books, but you don't have a problem with it in the Bible?
Okay. We have a caller on the line. Caller, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to go on, make it quick, please, because we're about out of time. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry for calling last minute. First off, Eric Neal, Lindsay's my best friend, by the way.
Well, that's your problem, Eric.
Hey, he knew what he got into.
I tell her that on the daily, honestly.
Hey, you love me.
No, I just, she's Lindsay is amazing, and I just got to say this, the mission that she's on is beyond anything that I could ever accomplish. I just got to throw that out there first. But to be honest, I agree with what she's saying. She's saying that it's up to the parents.
Absolutely.
It is not. It is not up to the school board.
And I even said that.
Well, we've all said that too. I mean, it starts in the home. It truly does.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
exactly. I have an 11-year-old daughter, and she loves to read. She does. And I've told Lindsay this multiple times. It's, for me, it's like it's my choice. It's not
exactly.
If I want to tell my 11-year-old daughter not to read certain books, that's not up to a grown man or woman that I don't know for them to decide whether or not my children can read a certain book.
And what I told Eric is that parents have the opportunity to call the school's library and find out what that reading list is.
Sure.
And then if they have an objection, tell the librarian,
Librarian
I
will
don't
be
want
more,
my kid.
They will be more than happy to help you.
Absolutely.
Eric, I do not mean to cut you off, but we're almost out of time, and I thank you for calling. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Listen, I'm going to try. Zoe and I have talked about this. We're going to try and get Lindsay to be more passionate about what she's doing.
I try to encourage her all the time.
Okay.
You lie.
Thank you, my friend. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You guys. Have a good night.
Okay, bye-bye. And I'll tell you, we're going to have to wrap it up. We've got our next show ready to come in. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Zoe,
much.
it's been a pleasure to meet
An
you.
absolute delight.
And
Thank
Lindsay,
you.
keep up the good fight. I'll be right here. You have my number. You know how to get a hold of me. Connor, thank you. If you'll play us out, I'd appreciate it. And until next Sunday at 8 o'clock, this is Ed Raymer for the Ed and Lee Raymer Show. I'll catch you down the road.